Amen. Oseh shalom bimromav, yaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael v'yimeru. Amen.
We continue now with the Hallel prayers, which you'll find on page 133 in the prayer book, prayers of thanksgiving and joy as we begin this Chag. Phil.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kineshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivonu likro et Hallel, hallelujah. Mikimi me'afarda, me'ashpot yarim evion, v'oshivi im nedivei amo, v'oshivi akeret habayit, eim habanim semecha, hallelujah. B'tzeit Yisrael, mitzrayim beit Yaakov, me'am Eloheis, hayta Yehuda, lekol sho Yisrael mamshelota, hayamra, vayanus, hayarnin sol le'afor, eharim rakdu, Yisrael, metach Adonai, Ezram, umaginam, Beit Aharon, mitchum Adonai, Ezram, umaginam, Yirei Adonai, Bitchuv Adonai, Ezram, umaginam, Adonai, Zecharan Yevarech, Yevarech et Beit Yisrael, Yevarech et Beit Aharon, Yevarech Yirei Adonai, Haktanim im Hagdolim, Yosef Adonai. lo hametim ye hallelujah, velo kol yordeinu ma, אנחנו נברך יה, מעתה ועד עולם, מעתה ועד עולם, הללויה, אהבתי כי ישמע אדוני. אתהלך לפני אדוני בארצות החיים, האמנתי כי הדבר אני עניתי מאוד, אני אמרתי בחומזי כל האדם כוזב, מה אשיב לאדוני כל תגמולו היא עלי, מה אשיב לאדוני כל תגמולו היא עלי, כוס ישועות אשא, שם אדוני אקרא, מה אשיב לאדוני כל תגמולו היא עלי, מה אשיב לאדוני כל תגמולו היא עלי, נדרי לאדוני אשלם נגדנה לכל עמו, יקר בעיני אדוני אמרת חסידה, אשיב לאדוני כל תגמולו היא עלי, אשיב לאדוני כל תגמולו היא עלי, כוס ישועות אשא, שם אדוני אקרא, אשיב לאדוני כל תגמולו היא עלי, אשיב לאדוני כל תגמולו היא עלי, אנא אדוני כי אני עבדך, אני עבדך, בין אמתך ביטחת למוסרי, לך אשמח לבקתונה, בשם אדוני אקרא, מה אשיב לאדוני כל תגמולו היא עלי, מה אשיב לאדוני כל תגמולו היא עלי, כוס ישועות אשא, שם אדוני אקרא, אשיב לאדוני כל תגמולו היא עלי, מה אשיב לאדוני כל תגמולו היא עלי, נדרי לאדוני אשלם נגדנה לכל עמו, חצרו בית אדוני בתוככי ירושלים, אשיב לאדוני כל תגמולו היא עלי, מה אשיב לאדוני כל תגמולו היא עלי, כוס ישועות אשא, שם אדוני אקרא, הללויה, הללויה, הללויה. הללו את אדוני, כל גויים, כל גויים, שבחו, שבחו, כל העמים, כי גבר עלינו, עלינו חסדו באמת, אדוני לעולם הללויה. הודו, הודו לאדוני כי טוב, כי לעולם חסדו. הודו, הודו לאדוני כי טוב, כי לעולם חסדו. יום אדוני ישראל, כי לעולם חסדו. יום אדוני ישראל, כי לעולם חסדו. הודו, הודו לאדוני כי טוב, כי לעולם חסדו. הודו, הודו לאדוני כי טוב, כי לעולם צר קראתי ענני במרחבים. איתו לי שערי צדק אבו עמודיה. איתו לי שערי צדק אבו עמודיה. זה השער לאדוני צדיקים יבואו. זה השער לאדוני צדיקים יבואו. אותך כי עניתני ותהי לי לישועה. אותך כי עניתני ותהי לי לישועה. אבן מסו הבונים הייתה לראש פינה. אבן מסו הבונים הייתה לראש פינה. מאת אדוני הייתה זאת, היא נפלט בעינינו. מאת אדוני הייתה זאת, היא נפלט בעינינו. זה היום עשה אדוני נגילה ונשמחה בו. זה היום עשה אדוני נגילה ונשמחה בו. אנא אדוני הושיענה.
אנא יושיענה.
אנא אדוני הושיענה.
יושיענה.
אנא אדוני הצליחנה.
אנא יצליחנה.
אנא אדוני הצליחנה. ברוך הבא בשם אדוני מרחמכם מבית אדוני. כי לך טוב להודות ולשמך נאה לזמר לעולם עד עולם אתה ברוך אתה אדוני מלך מעולם ותשמחו.
Kaddish cantor, full Kaddish.
יתקדם יקדש שמי רבה.
Amen.
ועמד יברך ינותב ימליך מלכותי. וחייכון ומכון וחיי כל בית ישראל ועגלה ובזמן קריב ויאמרו.
Amen.
שמי רבה מברך. ויעלם עולמי עולמיה. יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרום ינסה ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתעלם שמי לקודשו. בריחו לילה מן כל בירר בשירתה תושפגד ונחמתה דמירם ימה ויאמרו. תקבל צלון הון ודחון וכל ישראל קודם ונמשמע ויאמרו. יהי שלמה רבה מן שמיים וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל ויאמרו. עושה שלום במרומיו ויעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ויאמרו. Amen.
We're going to take a moment now, and we don't have the Torah to read, but we'll take a moment to look at an aliyah of the Torah reading this morning. So Cantor, lead us in the prayers for removing and study of the Sefer Torah, please.
Ein kamocha v'Elohim Adonai, ve'ein kema'asecha, malchutecha malchut kol olamim, u'memshaltecha bechol dor v'hador. Adonai melech, Adonai malach, Adonai imloch, leolam va'ed, Adonai oz le'amo yitein, Adonai yivarech et amo v'shalom, al harachamim, eitiva mirtzoncha et Zion, tivnei chomot Yerushalayim, tivnei chomot Yerushalayim, ki echad levad bataknu, מלך אל רם ונישא, אדון עולמים, ויהי מנשוא אהרון, ויאמר משה, קומה אדוני, ויפוצו אויביך, וינוסו משנאיך מפניך, כי מציון תצא תורה. כי מציון תצא תורה, ודבר אדוני מירושלים, ברוך שנתן תורה תורה, ברוך שנתן תורה תורה, לעמו ישראל בקדושתו. אדוני, אדוני, אל רחום וחנון, ערך אפיים ורב חסד ואמת, נוצר חסד לאלפים, נושא עוון ופשע, וחטא ונקה. אדוני, אדוני, אל רחום וחנון, ערך אפיים ורב חסד ואמת, נוצר חסד לאלפים, נושא עוון ופשע, וחטא ונקה. אדוני, אדוני, אל רחום וחנון, ערך אפיים ורב חסד ואמת, נוצר חסד לאלפים, נושא עוון ופשע, וחטא ונקה. ואני תפילתי, תפילתי, לך אדוני, את רצון אלוהי, ברוב חסדך, ענני, ענני, באמת אישך. אני תפילתי, תפילתי, לך אדוני, את רצון אלוהי, ברוב חסדך, ענני, ענני, באמת אישך. אני תפילתי, תפילתי, לך אדוני, את רצון אלוהי, ברוב חסדך, ענני, ענני, באמת אישך. שמע ישראל, אדוני אלוהינו, אדוני אחד.
Ah, Israel,
Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
אחד אלוהינו, גדול אדוננו, קדוש שמו.
Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Kadosh Shemo.
גדול אדוני איתי, ונרוממה שמו יחדיו. רוממו אדוני אלוהינו, והשתחוו להר קודשו. רוממו אדוני אלוהינו, והשתחוו להר קודשו. כי קדוש אדוני אלוהינו רוממו. כי קדוש אדוני אלוהינו רוממו. רוממו אדוני אלוהינו, והשתחוו להר קודשו.
Good morning, Hag Sameach. I hope that you found us here on YouTube. We had some technical difficulties finding our way onto Facebook this morning, but we welcome everyone and wish you a very happy and sweet Chag. This morning we begin the holiday of Pesach, and the Torah reading for this morning takes us right to the moment just before Pesach. Chapter 12 in Exodus, beginning with the 21st verse. It is the night before, actually the day before, and what has happened is that Moses has instructed the people of Israel to take a lamb, to carry that lamb into their home, and on the evening of the 14th to slaughter the lamb and to place the blood above the lintel. And it's that night that the angel of death, the angel of destruction, goes through the land of Egypt, destroying the firstborn of Egypt and protecting or passing over the homes of the Israelites. It is the first act of affirmative assertion by the Israelites that they're ready to be free. It's the first time that they're going to resist Pharaoh. And to place blood on the lintel, as you can imagine, is a gutsy thing to do, because if redemption doesn't come in the morning, then you're a marked person. Your family has been marked. And so the tradition is that only 20%, only 1 out of 5 of the Israelites actually obeyed this. 1 out of 5 of the Israelites were ready to make a step into a future that they couldn't yet quite see, but wanted to believe in. And that's the section we're going to read today. We're going to read about this commandment by Moses to prepare the blood on the lintel and the story of the passing over of the angel of destruction. Now, if you happen to have a Chumash, in the Eitz Chaim Chumash, the story begins on page 385. It's the 21st verse of the 12th chapter. Moses summons the elders. We're going to call up everyone who's watching for an aliyah, and we'll do the aliyah all together, and the cantor will read for us. Amen. Hakol havu alenu tunu kavod laTorah. Ya'amdu kol ele shemistaklim beYouTube haboker. Kodesh Baruch Hu yishmor aleihem. Ve'azor ve'again v'havu ladronai ki tov. Let's come together. If you happen to have a chumash, take your talit and kiss the talit and say the bracha with me. Baruch Hu et Adonai Varach. Baruch Adonai Varach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai notein ha'Torah.
Amen. Amen. Vayikra Moshe lechol ziknei Yisrael vayomer aleihem mishkochu ukechu lachem tzon lemishpechotechem v'shachatu hapasach ulkachtem agudat ha'ezov utvaltem badam asher basaf vehigatem el hamashkof ve'el shetei hamezuzot min hadam asher basaf ve'atem lo tetzeu ish mipechat beito ad boker ve'avar Adonai lingof et Mitzrayim ve'ra'a et Adam al hamashkov ve'al shetei hamezuzot ufasach Adonai al hapetach ve'lo yitein hamashchit lavo el batechem lingof ushmartem et hadavar hazeh lechok lecha ulvanecha harolam.
Once again, take your talit, kiss the chumash, and together we'll say, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torat emet v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai notein ha'Torah. Amen. Enter. while the Torah is open in front of us, it's a time for prayers for the community, a time for us to reflect on those in our community who have been suffering this last week. So for all of those who are ill, who are suffering, for all of those who are filled with fear, for all of those who worry about the destruction outside, the Kriya that the cantor just said talks about the mashchit, the destroyer passing over the homes of Israel. We pray that the mashchit of this plague pass over all of the homes of the world right now and leave us. Mishaberach avotenu Avram Yitzchak v'Yaakov Sarah Rivka Rachel v'Leah. Hu yivarech v'yirapeh et kol hacholim b'kilatenu hakdosha. Kodesh Baruch Hu yishmor aleim v'yishlach leim refuah shlema min hashamayim, refuat hanefesh, refuat haguf, v'kol averim v'tok shar choli Yisrael Yom Tov hilim yizok, hashta b'glazman ki ben omar amen. May the source of blessings for all of our ancestors bless and heal those who are afflicted in our community. May God grant them healing of body and mind and spirit. May God guide the hands of the physicians and uplift the spirits of those who search and find medicines. May God protect them and bring them home to their families soon to celebrate the Simcha of Pesach. And together we say Amen.
Amen.
Second blessing for the doctors, for the nurses, for the technicians, Mishaberach, Avotenu, Avram, Yitzchak, v'Yaakov, Sarah, Rivka, Rachel, v'Leah. Hu yivarech et kol harofim v'chayot v'kol eile shemechapsim refuah shlema lekol ha'am v'kol ha'olam. May the source of blessings for our ancestors bless and heal and protect those who are healers, the doctors, the nurses, the technicians, the specialists, the scientists, and all who reach out to heal and to help people in our communities all across the world. May God protect them from this plague. May God keep them strong, keep their minds clear, that they might find refuah. They may find us the cures and treatments for this disease and bring us home, all of us together, so that we might celebrate Pesach as families and communities once again in the years to come. And together we'll say, Amen.
Amen.
Cantor, let's replace the Sefer Torah now.
Hallelu et Shem Adonai ki nitzgal shemo levado hodo al eretz b'shamayim vayarem kerem leyamo tehila lechol chasidav livnei Yisrael am kerovo. Hallelujah, hallelujah. Yisrael ve'oraita dekudesha berichu chanehu. Yisrael ve'oraita dekudesha berichu charu. Torah ora, Torah ora, hallelujah. Torah ora, Torah ora, hallelujah. Omenucho yomar. Etz chaim hi lamachazikim ba v'tomcheha meyushar deracheha darchei noam v'chol netivoteha shalom. Hashivenu Adonai elecha v'nashuva Chadesh, Chadesh yameinu, Chadesh yameinu kekedem.
Pesach is a time for asking questions. It is a remarkable tradition that teaches the child. The first affirmative religious act of a child is to ask a question at the Seder table. In most cultures, children were deemed to be invisible and silent until they were grown-ups. But in our tradition, children are cherished. And not just cherished, but they're taught something very specific. They're taught to ask a question. They're taught to ask that question with all the sincerity that they can muster. And that's a remarkable idea of how you raise a child. Now, there's a particular kind of question that children love to ask. And in the middle of the Seder, If you had children at your table last night, if you'll have children at your table tonight, if you'll have children who study this story with you at any time, they're going to ask you a question called a really question. Like, were there really frogs jumping here and there? Were there really plagues? Did the sea really split? Did this story really happen? And that's a question that not just children, but anyone asks. Did it really happen? Now, for a moment, just consider the depth of that question. It's actually a very, very sincere and powerful question. Are these events historical? Are these events historical? Or are they something, well, the way that the questioner would put it is it just a story? And that's the phrase I think it's so interesting. Is it just a story? We are our stories. We're made up of stories. I gained stories from my parents about their experiences. When they were young, they made Aliyah to Israel and lived there for some years. The story of my parents' Aliyah to Israel formed me and made me the person I am. We had stories from our grandparents and our aunts and uncles who came to this country about their immigration, about coming on a ship, about arriving in America, about life in the Lower East Side of Manhattan and life in Chicago and life in Kenosha, Wisconsin, and what it was like to come to Los Angeles in the early years. We are our stories. We are shaped by stories. Now we're used to video and television and news as a sort of window into an objective reality. But number one, there is no such thing as an objective reality in that sense. Even a reporter's news report is filtered through the sensibility of that reporter, choosing that event rather than a trillion others that could have happened at the same moment. But more than that, stories are filtered through our own subjectivity, our own emotions, our feelings, our desires, our needs, and our values. And as we live with a story for a long time, a story becomes refined. It becomes part of us. It reflects the deepest part of us. Yes, it's just a story, but that's all we are, is just a story. When you meet someone you've never met before and they ask you, who are you? You tell a story. When they ask you, how did you come to this kind of work? How did you come to the neighborhood? How did you meet your partner, your spouse, your friend? You tell a story. And that story isn't an objective truth like the news might be. That story is filtered through your values. The story we tell about how we began our relationships is filtered through the values of how much we cherish each other. And so the memories become more rosy because we want them to be more romantic and sweeter. The stories of the pain that we've endured become deeper and crueler because we want to impress upon the listener and we want to hold on ourselves. That sense of terrible despair that comes with pain and suffering and the power it took to rise up out of that. Yes, it's just a story, but we are all just stories. Everything we are is just a story. So what does this just a story tell us? This just a story tells us that there's hope. The story really takes place, the locus of the story, the center of the story, is on the other side of the Red Sea. When a group of ex-slaves got together and realized that they were free. They'd been slaves, their parents were slaves, their grandparents were slaves, their great-grandparents were slaves, and they had no hope the day before except that their children would be slaves too. And suddenly they find themselves free. Suddenly they realize that they breathe freedom for the first time. They turn around and they look out at the vast expanse of the wilderness and realize that the choices will not be made for them. They need to make choices. They control their own destiny. They shape their own future. They build their own world. They raise children in a completely different environment, an environment of freedom. That first breath of freedom is what this whole holiday is about. It's what all the stories are about. So did frogs rain down from on heaven? Maybe. Did the sea split? Maybe. But what I do know for sure is that for thousands of years, our people have embraced this story because we sought to breathe free. Our ancestors who were incarcerated in concentration camps, our ancestors who were blocked into ghettos, our ancestors who were pursued, exiled, oppressed, persecuted, tortured, discriminated against, hated, excluded, disenfranchised. Every year they returned to this story, and the story gave them hope that whatever conditions they face today, tomorrow they would breathe that breath of freedom once again. This is the story that has given us faith. This is the story that has removed from us the cloud of despair. This is the story that has enabled us to believe that there is somewhere a tomorrow, which will be so much better than yesterday. That's the great gift. That's the gift of this story. Did it really happen? Oh, yes, it did. Because if it didn't happen in Egypt with the frogs and the gnats and the splitting of the sea, it certainly happened in the 3,500 years since that we've always looked at this story and found the strength to say yes to life, to say no to cruelty, to say yes to the pursuit of justice and no to the oppression of one another, to say yes to a tomorrow, even though our yesterdays might have been dark and very difficult. Did it really happen? Oh, yes, children, it really happened. I was there. I saw it. I wish you a happy, healthy, and sweet Pesach. Cantor, let's finish the service with Kaddish Aleinu, and then we'll say Kaddish together for our loved ones, and then a Seder song to finish. Please.
יתקנה מקדש שמי רבה, בעלמא יברך ירוסי וימליך מלכותי, בחייכון ובימיכון ובחיי כל בית ישראל, בעגלה ובזמן קריב ההימרו, יהי שמי רבה מברך, לעולם ולעולמי עלמיה, יתברך וישתבח, ויתפאר ויתרומם ינשא, ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי לקודשו, בריחו לילה מן כל ברד ושירתה, תושבחת בניכם עתה, דמירם ימה והימרו, תקבל צלות הונו ודחון לכל ישראל, קודם אבנים ושמיים והימרו, יהי שלום רבה מן שמיים וחיים, עלינו ועל כל ישראל והימרו. עושה שלום במרומיו, יעשה שלום עלינו, ועל כל ישראל, ואמרו, אמן, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו, ועל כל ישראל, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ככתוב בתורתך, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, ונאמר, והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו
We ask those who are reciting the mourner's Kaddish in memory of loved ones or observance of a yahrzeit this Yom Tov to stand with us and to share with us the words of Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, v'yalma divrach irutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon v'yomechon, chayei dechol Beit Yisrael, ba'galav v'zman kariv v'yimru amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevarach leolam olmaya yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yitale v'yitalau shemei dekudsha brichu Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, amiran be'alma v'imru amen. Shalom Rabba min Shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. This is Theo, the rabbi's dog. So he's a very important part of our family. We want to welcome everyone. I apologize for the technical difficulties we had this morning. I do hope you found your way to this station. We'll try to fix this for future services. Thank you to Cantor Barron for davening with us and for sharing with us the Torah reading. Thank you to everyone for being with us. Please take a look at vbs.org and click on the Passover link to see all of the things that are going on for the synagogue this coming week. We want to wish everyone a very good and a health and a safe Pesach. Please do the best you can to stay inside, to distance. This is the worst week of the thing, so we have to take very, very good care of each other. This afternoon, there'll be mincha services at 5 p.m., followed by, of course, by the Seder, which is the second Seder, which will be celebrated tonight. During the course of the week, tomorrow there'll be services in the morning at 10 a.m., and the rest of the week, the normal times, so Shabbos at 10 a.m. Torah study is on 9 o'clock on Shabbos morning, followed by davening at 10 a.m. and then Sunday at 8:30, and then Monday, Tuesday at 7:30. Look on the schedule, you'll see all the services that we offer. We wish everyone a happy, healthy, and a safe Pesach. Cantor, take us out with a song.
Adon olam asher malach b'terem kol yitzir nivra v'yet nasa v'chefzo kol azai melech shemo nikra v'yet nasa v'chefzo kol azai melech shemo nikra v'yacharei kichlot hakol לבדו ימלוך נורא, והוא היה והוא הווה, והוא יהיה בתפארה, והוא היה והוא הווה, והוא יהיה בתפארה, והוא אלי וחי גואלי, וצור חבלי ביצרה, והוא ניסי ומנוס לי, מנת כוסי ביום אקרא, והוא ניסי ומנוס לי, מנת כוסי ביום אקרא, בידו אף כי רוחי, והייתי שן וירא, ואם רוחי גביעתי, אדוני לי ולא יירא, ואם רוחי גביעתי, Adonai livelo ira.
Safe and healthy Hag Sameach to everyone. Stay well. Thank you, Cantor. Good night.
Chag Sameach, everyone.